Hello, welcome to the Cash Game Locks podcast. I'm Big Italy 42. He's Christopher Ruckus at Space Jam 23 DFS. Talking about some cash games. We're going to run you through our tentative cash game lineups, obviously early in the morning for FanDuel, DraftKings. We've got a couple prepared for you here. So, obviously, some good pitchers on the mound, some very good pitchers on the mound, actually, but not very many in great spots. So, we're going to start off with FanDuel here. I'll give you my pitcher. We'll go one by one all the way through. I'm going with Garrett Richards against Arizona. Arizona's a tough offense, not as tough away from home, and not as tough against righties as they are against lefties. Still a fine offense, but he's a minus 190 favorite. He's got a well above average and elite ground ball rate at 54.2%. Right about league average at 19.8% strikeout, slightly above average, I guess. His walk rate at 9.7 is a little bit concerning, but I mean, in this lineup, you navigate Paul Goldschmidt and you make everyone else beat you, and I think that he's more than capable of doing that tonight.
Yeah, no, completely. I did go a different route. I went Jose Quintana. You know, I'm all about Quintana tonight. I think that Vegas total is going to change, or Vegas run line is going to change drastically. I think he's in a really good spot. He's pitched fairly well this season. 62 strikeouts, 74 innings pitched. I just think he's in a really nice spot tonight, and I also like the opposing pitcher, Charlie Martin. I like to target pitchers who aren't up against studs. I thought it was a pretty good spot for Quintana tonight. I don't love any pitcher, and he lets me get the bats that I want.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. I think he's in a fine enough spot that you can make that happen. And then catcher, I went with Jonathan Lucroy. He's the guy I played last night. He's too cheap for his talent level. Fresh off the DL not too long ago, but $2,500 for this guy against flyball pitcher Chris Young, the ultimate flyball pitcher who is pitching well above his means. He's a contact pitcher, gives up a ton of fly balls. That's not going to work out so well every time you're in Milwaukee, so I like some of these Milwaukee bats a lot tonight.
Yeah, no, they're definitely a good spot. I talked about him earlier. I said he's probably my top per dollar option. Yasmani Grandal in Texas against Gonzalez. He homered last night, or was that the night before? I think it was last night.
He homered three of his last four, but yeah, last night was one of them.
He had one last night, and then he had what was the other one? He had one in Petco, one in Arizona.
I think so.
So I like the way he's playing right now. He's swinging a good bat, 2.9K, pretty much locked in for me. I just don't see a reason for me to pivot based on who I want at first base.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there, and obviously, you're going to pay up in some spots. I chose to save a little bit of money at first base, and whenever I save money at first base and Milwaukee's playing at home against a righty, Adam Lind's my guy to go to, $2,700. Nice savings. He's a great hitter against righties, and, like I said, Chris Young, not a great pitcher. He's a guy that gives up a ton of fly balls, and he's got a pretty good split against lefties this year, 277 allowed, but, I mean, I'm not buying into it. I still am not a believer in Chris Young. He gets rocked more often than he's dominant. So I'm picking on him a lot tonight.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. I took Miggy. He's clearly the top option of the day. Justin locked him in last night. Had him. I mean, in two of his last four games, he almost hit 10. The guy's just been mashing. He mashes in his whole career. I think he's the top option tonight. And I found salary relief, so I fit him in.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to go tonight because I mean, Miggy might be your top overall hitter tonight. Close with him and Mike Trout, if you ask me. But, I mean, I certainly don't blame anybody for going either way with that. So, next up, second base, I went with Jimmy Paredes. I think you did the same. $2,600. Gets Jerome Williams. Anywhere you can get yourself some cheap exposure to Jerome Williams, I'm all in. And second base is not a particularly great position tonight.
All you can eat. Yeah, Jimmy Paredes. I mean, there's no reason to play anybody else. His price tag, I mean, 2.6K for Paredes against I'm gonna call him the junkyard dog. Will the real Jerome Williams please stand up? So yeah, Jimmy Paredes, same reasons. Get your exposure that way at a weak position. Paredes can go yard. He can swipe a bag. He hits for contact. So yeah, I love Paredes.
Absolutely, and third base, I think we might be on the same one here as well. He's been a great cash game play. Manny Machado.
Couldn't fit him.
Okay. Who you got?
I had him, but I didn't like my last outfielder. So I downgraded Machado. I needed 300 more. and it just happened to be somebody I brought up in the podcast that I really like. I said he's going to be contrarian, but I always play him. This is the one player this year that I have been absolutely on point with. That's Alex Rodriguez at 3.2K. I love him. I've been on point with him all year. He's having a great year. And tonight, I think he rested last night. I think he's in a great spot, 3.2K. I prefer Machado. He's my top option. But the way my outfield worked, I preferred A-Rod and this outfielder over Machado and the other outfielder.
Okay, yeah, and that's a fair point. So next up, I know I went with the same guy as you here. Alcides Escobar, $2,200, min salary, batting at the top of the order. A fine matchup as well against Matt Garza, who has been below average. I'll say average at best. I won't be too mean to him. He's been okay, but he's a guy that I don't mind picking on at all, especially with the min salary shortstop who leads off.
Yeah, I said it in the podcast. I love Alcides. I always take Alcides against a righty, especially when I like the Royals team as a whole. He's min salary. Probably one of the best min salary players you'll be able to get unless it's a minor league call-up. Alcides, no question, onto the outfield.
All right, my first outfielder. This is where I paid up instead of getting Miggy. Mike Trout against Jeremy Hellickson. I mean, Jeremy Hellickson's had some nasty reverse splits throughout his career. I mean, he's terrible against lefties as well. But, I mean, so far this season, 317 WOBA allowed doesn't look like a terrible number, but 7 home runs already allowed, 21 earned runs. I mean, he's pitching better this year than he has in the past against righties, but I'm not a believer in by any means. So I think that Mike Trout is in a great spot, and I want as much Mike Trout as I can tonight.
I love my outfield. Outfielder number 1, Detroit Tiger, Yoenis Cespedes. Another hitter, locked in, been playing great. Getting him with Miggy. Talk about all of Z power for Detroit tonight. I should get 1 home run between the two of them at least. So Yoenis Cespedes, love him against Michael Lorenzen. Wasn't even a question for me. I mean, he's locked in for what he's been doing lately. So Yoenis Cespedes.
Yeah, I'm with you. I actually have one of his teammates as my next guy, JD Martinez, $3,200. Yes. Another guy who's a great hitter. I mean, as you can tell, Detroit's in a great spot tonight, like they were last night, and we're both trying to take advantage of this however we can.
I took Paredes' teammate second, Mr. Jones and me, 3.5K against Junkyard Dog. I know it's not a lefty, but I think as bad as he is, it might as well be a lefty. 3.5K, I love his price tag. I just have to take him.
Yeah, you absolutely. I mean, he's in a phenomenal spot. Absolutely. So, with that being said, last guy for me on FanDuel, Starling Marte. Now, obviously, this is just if you're not playing Jose Quintana because Marte is absolutely on fire right now. Over his last 4 games, he has 13 hits. So, I mean, this is a guy that's really locked in, really cheap, or not really cheap, but cheap considering his recent production at $3,800. And I would slightly prefer his teammate, obviously, Andrew McCutchen, for cash, but he is much more expensive. I'll take the $700 discount and go with Starling Marte tonight.
Yeah, here's your pivot, Jock Peterson, who's my last outfielder. Same price. I'm playing Quintana, so I'm not playing Marte, so I play Jock. And I told you I like Dodger bats. I've got 2 Dodger bats. I've got 2 Detroit bats, 2 Baltimore bats, Yankee who can hit for power, and a Royal who can steal a bag. So Jock Peterson was my last pick, 3.8K. He's your pivot off of Marte.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and move over here to DraftKings, where obviously you need to have 2 pitchers. I don't know who you have, but I'm guessing it's very similar to mine. I have Garrett Richards and Jose Quintana.
I actually have the exact same.
I figured you would. I mean, there's not a lot of great pitching options that you feel good about. Pittsburgh struggles against lefties, like we mentioned. Garrett Richards, huge favorite against the Arizona team, not nearly as good away from home. So I mean, it seems like that's the way you really have to go tonight.
Yeah, no, I went the same, and then
Who'd you click first? Is it Richards Quintana or is it Quintana Richards?
Oh, it's Quintana Richards, no question.
All right, so we're not the same because I went Richards Quintana. So same amount of points probably, but we'll see who the higher scorer is then.
Yeah, Quintana, I love him tonight. I had to go super cheap. I'm telling you right now, I played Miggy at first base. End of story. So I talked about this guy in the podcast. He's cheap. He's 2.6K. Tucker Barnhart. I mean, I wish I could get somebody else, but I love the rest of my hitters. I don't think catcher is a particularly strong position tonight, so I don't mind punting it at all. So I punted with Tucker Barnhart in a good spot against Kyle Ryan.
Yeah, and I don't blame you there. I went with Jonathan Lucroy again. I like the way he's hitting the ball. I like the matchup, and I mean, you get a catcher with his type of floor and upside, batting first or second in the order, and I love that all the time. So I'm getting some Jonathan Lucroy on DK as well.
Yeah, no, I love that call. First base, get your Miggy on. Man, you see his last 4 games, 14, 24, 10, and 27. It's hilarious. Took Miggy tonight. He's literally destroying the ball.
Yeah.
After everyone said he was not playing well at the beginning of the season. How many times do we have to tell you guys? Small sample size. Andrew McCutchen, Evan Gattis, Miguel Cabrera. Keep playing bad players that are hitting the ball, quote unquote, well. I'm just going to keep taking players that are in good spots and are good hitters.
Yeah.
Sorry for the rant. Miguel Cabrera is my top first base, third base, whatever position you want to select him at. 5.7K, he's in my lineup.
Yeah. Get yourself some Miggy, best hitter. I mean, arguably best hitter. One of the best hitters ever to play the game. $5,700. I have him on DraftKings here as well. Not a significant price savings to get a guy like Adam Lind on DraftKings, so I think that opportunity cost there with Miggy being by far the best. I'll go ahead and eat the $1,200 and pay up for Miggy here as well. All right, second base. I went with a guy that you talked about on the podcast earlier. I like his cheap price, and he's facing Chris Tillman tonight. Chase Utley at $3,500.
Yeah, I love Chase Utley. I stayed with the parade himself, Jimmy Paredes. I don't think there's a reason.
The parade. I like that. That's a good one.
The parade. I think that's a great nickname for him.
Great one.
So yeah, Jimmy Paredes for me, 4K. I love the Utley call. I actually didn't see him when I was doing this, but I don't mind. I actually would prefer Utley because I have his partner in crime at third base, Michael Franco, at 4.3K. So that could be something where later in the day I do a little bit of a switcheroo, take out Paredes, put in Utley, and upgrade one of my outfielders.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And at third base, I have Manny Machado once again. I love the spot for him. The guy's hot. He's doing it all. He's hitting for power. He's stealing bases. He's scoring runs. And, I mean, as we noted earlier...
Whoa, man, you're married. You're married. It's like you're going to cheat on your wife with Manny Machado here.
Hey,
wow.
My wife knows how I feel about Manny Machado. I am a huge Manny Machado fan. And he may be a hothead, but you know what? So am I. I can relate to all of it except for the incredible baseball skills. That I don't have.
I think our shortstop has got to be the same.
I bet it's not.
Wow. All right, I went Alcides Escobar. Same reason I played him on FanDuel. Sorry, guys, it's all the analysis you're getting from me because I want to know who he played.
I've got a nice cheap guy, been batting second, hitting the ball fairly well. Gets a young pitcher tonight. It's $2,900. Ruben Tejada.
That's a great price.
Yeah, I love that price. I was trying to save some money, get myself some balance, and I love the outfielders it helped me get too. And I couldn't get Miggy and Trout. That's not going to happen tonight, I don't think. But I tried.
Go. I want to hear who you got.
All right. First up, Denard
Run all
Span.
3 of them. Do all 3 of them.
Okay. Denard Span first off against Alex Colome. This guy is legitimately one of the better hitters in the game. He puts the ball in play. He's fast. He steals bases at times. He scores runs. Bats a couple spots ahead of Bryce Harper. Always a great spot to be in. And, I mean, Denard Span doesn't matter what ballpark he's in because he's just a great hitter. And he has 4 to 5 hit upside most nights. I mean, you got to love that. Then I went with a cheap guy. Going back to the Tigers, Anthony Goes, $3,400. Stole a couple bags last night. Stole a bag the night before. None of these Reds catchers, the healthy ones at least, are capable of throwing out runners on a base pass. So if Goes gets on, he's off to the races. He's going to get some steals. And 5 points for a steal on DraftKings. I can get him at $3,400. I love that. And then I went with another speedster, Adam Eaton, $3,600 against Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton, pretty damn good against righties, not so good against lefties. So Adam Eaton at $3,600, batting at the top of that order. I like the spot for him in that big ballpark. Maybe hit a gapper, get a double, steal a base. And I mean, I love the savings, and I love to have stolen base floor and power upside in my lineup. And I think I've done well in getting all of that.
Well, you know me, I love to do mini stacks. So with Miggy, I had to pair him with Anthony Goes as well. His price tag is just way too cheap. Same reasons. If he gets on base, he's typically scoring a run. And he's got the opportunity to swipe a bag. They're super aggressive on the base path, especially against Cincinnati tonight. Then I also grabbed one more Detroit Tiger who I needed real cheap guy, and that is Tyler Collins at 3.1K. I mean, I just like the opportunity he has tonight. Obviously, it's if he does start. There is a possibility that he won't start because of Cespedes goes and JD Martinez. But as of right now, 3.1K, I do like him. And then finally, I paid up. I paid way up, and this is tough for me. So I've got about 4.9, 5.2K left, which lets me get JD Martinez for 5K, who I really like, or Andrew McCutchen or Adam Jones. Those are the three players that I'm considering in that position. I have Adam Jones plugged in, so I want to put someone in with Paredes. So I took Adam Jones, but it is very close for me. I just didn't want to go McCutchen and leave him on his own, but I think McCutchen's in such a good spot. But then I come back to Jerome Williams. So
and it's hard to play McCutchen if you're playing Quintana because you don't want to play him against him. But,
exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, if you find another pitcher option, I think that McCutchen's probably your best bet there. But like you said, Adam Jones in a phenomenal spot as well, though.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to wrap things up. Find us on Twitter at DF Cafe. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out all of our great content at dailyfantasycafe.com.